ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chump some of this shit.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you, and those black eyes roll over white.
All right, guys, Jaws, our movie review number 100. One of my favorite, if not my favorite movie of all time.
Never would have guessed.
Let's get to the synopsis.
You won't pick like a favorite movie, right?
Well, no, it's definitely...
You won't commit to saying it because that's
no,
too
I won't
much.
commit to... I would say it's top 3.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
What's going to happen if you say it is my favorite movie?
The world may
Steven
implode.
Spielberg might die.
Yeah. But anyway, let me get to this. Based on the 1974 novel by Peter Benchley,
Oh, I hate it now.
which was
I hate movies
inspired
made after books.
by the Jersey Shore shark attacks of 1916, Jaws became the father of summer blockbuster movies and one of the first high-concept films when it was released in 1975. You guys know what high concept means?
Oh, boy.
I'm just asking.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna be honest. I had to actually look up the definition.
I honestly don't, but I don't like
What
you
is the
saying it, though.
definition?
So it says it means there's an emphasis on striking and easily communicable idea. They lead with concept rather than character or style.
Okay.
So films like that would be Groundhog Day, Jurassic Park, Die Hard, Gladiator, Taken, Ghostbusters,
Groundhog
Speed.
Day.
Well,
Yeah.
it's more about the concept. You understand?
I love Groundhog Day. Don't
understand.
belittle it like that.
No, but I was going to show
Always
you
got to
guys.
finish it up with something.
I was going to show you guys. This is the actual original Jaws novel. This is the original cover from 1974.
I thought you meant like the original copy.
This is his
I got
personal
it.
copy.
From 1974. That's Peter Benchley, who
Okay.
actually is in the movie. He's actually the reporter that works for the
Yeah,
news.
he looks awful.
No, but that's the original novel there. That's cool. I own that.
She sounds hideous. Well,
let me
he's
get
a dude,
back-
so.
Right. What do I...
The State Farm commercial. Jake from State Farm.
that's right. I
What
was
are you
gonna-
wearing?
That was going to bother me.
That was the same.
Khakis and a polo?
But all right. It was also the first film to reach 100 million at the box office. That's crazy. And it was nominated.
Now every movie hits it, even not even good movies.
Right. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, winning 3 of them.
What was the budget? Do you know?
8. I think it was 8 or 9 million, and it made like 800 million
Hell
worldwide.
yeah.
So
I thought you were going to say 1,000.
How much did they donate to the betterment of sharks?
I think
That's
a lot. I think a lot. But it won 3 Academy Awards: Best Film Editing, Best Sound, and Best Music, Original Dramatic Score. And the film showed that movies could make money and appeal broadly and still be of high quality and craft. And those things don't have to be mutually exclusive, you know. But this movie has everything which make people love it so much to this day, with like periodical limited theater re-releases. I just seen it in September. You seen it last summer, right?
Yeah,
I seen
summer.
it in 3D, and it was freaking awesome.
I saw it in IMAX, which was a little disappointing.
Why was it disappointing?
I told you it wasn't like shot in IMAX, so like certain parts you could see were stretched out, and like it just didn't
Right.
transfer well.
I just wanted you to tell the audience, but and
you just
there's,
wanted to tell me I'm an idiot.
there's also new merchandise being produced regularly. I own so
All
much
of it.
Jaws collectibles, and I've spent so much money on Jaws stuff. But I just seen
It's
it.
a disease at this
or,
point.
or the one I seen in 3D was well done. I highly recommend it. I'd do it again, you know. And this movie made people fear sharks like never before, you know. It put an unwarranted stigma on sharks, right?
I think it's pretty warranted, honestly. But
They're just animals with no conscience or like, you know, like ill will, but like this movie would have you believe that, oh, that shark's out to get me. That shark's gonna
I think the one
that shark's gonna hunt me
I
down.
think the one that really led you to believe that is Jaws 3, but
Right, the one with the
sure, was just a prick.
No, but it legitimately made people afraid to go in the ocean.
Yeah.
And including myself. I still fear the ocean to this day.
Yeah, it ruined most of the earth for me.
I think this movie had a bigger impact on people's fears than any other movie.
I can't argue that.
What other movie had this big an impact on what, like, people are afraid of the ocean to this day because of this movie. So we'll start off with the plot at the beginning. When new Sheriff Martin Brody discovers the remains of a shark attack victim, his first inclination is to close the beaches to swimmers. This doesn't sit well with Mayor Larry Vaughn and several of the local businessmen. Brody backs down to his regret, as that weekend a young boy is killed by the predator. The dead boy's mother puts out a bounty on the shark, and Amity is soon swamped with amateur hunters and fishermen hoping to cash in on the reward. A local fisherman with much experience hunting sharks, Quint, offers to hunt down the creature for a hefty fee. Soon, Quint, Brody, and Matt Hooper from the Oceanographic Institute are at sea hunting the great white shark. As Brody succinctly surmises after their first encounter with the creature, they're going to need a bigger boat.
That is an iconic line.
It is. There's multiple iconic lines, actually. But this movie has everything, doesn't it? A perfect cast, playing extremely likable characters, a great story that is primal. Like I've said, I'm into screenwriting. You guys know this. Primal screenplays are like something,
all the rage.
Something that a caveman could understand. You know what I'm saying? Like some dudes hunting a shark that is terrorizing a town. A caveman can understand that.
Are you saying we're cavemen and that's the only reason we get it?
No. No, but I'm just saying some of the most popular movies are primal like that. But yeah, an iconic score that mostly anyone on Earth could recite, even if you or hum if you ask them.
I sure can't do that.
Yep.
Well, that one, but not the rest of it.
Not the rest of it, but that's what I mean. That.
Not the rest of it.
But the true greatness of a film, I think, is determined in part by like its rewatchability. And I've seen this movie probably 100 times, and it never gets old.
I think rewatchability and that it's the only movie in like that genre that really matters.
I'll be honest.
Still,
Even still, you're right.
About a shark that it just owns a whole entire genre.
Yeah,
you're right. Even when something new is released, it's like, will it be even close to as good as Jaws?
It's not fair, but that's what everyone does, yeah.
It set the standard so early on. It set that standard.
I'll be honest. If I watched it hundreds of times, it would probably lose something for me.
I've watched it maybe not 100 times, but I watched it last night, and it doesn't lose anything.
There's some movies I can watch 100 times. I'm like, that's always going to be great.
And you know what's crazy is it's almost been 50 years, and people still love it and are scared by it, and like it just will last forever. It's timeless. But even if the shark looks a little dated to some, I hate. I hate when people say that. But
I mean, you can't deny it. Like,
you can't.
But it is
like,
so good for when it was done.
It's so good. Yeah, I love it. I mean,
have you ever been on the Universal ride? I mean,
oh yeah, that was
great.
great. I was sweating bullets on that ride, man.
But plus that heat is like next level when that thing blows up.
Oh man, when you're in the warehouse and the fire, and then that next level.
Sound effects in hand are great.
Right. The fisheye view opens the movie, right, as we see the shark's perspective as it swims through the water, which the movie uses effectively throughout, right? Mm-hmm. It puts us in the shark's, I guess, fins, so
honestly,
to speak. It's a creative way to build suspense. That
right,
it was creative for back then. I mean, that's used a lot these days, I guess. But 50 years ago,
if they did like ever revisit Jaws or try to do anything, I wish they would do like more from the shark's perspective, because they're capable of so much more now.
Okay,
you know what I mean. So like more of the movie was from the shark's
maybe even
point of view.
Maybe even a whole movie from a shark's point.
I wasn't going to go that far, but
that's experimental, right?
Like EO. I fucking loved EO. That's from the point of view of a donkey.
This is off topic, but get this. I was thinking of this.
Let's just go put a GoPro on a shark's head and make our own.
I was thinking this. This is a little off topic. Tell a story.
I honestly would love it.
Tell a story from entirely a bird's perspective.
We've lost every viewer.
I was trying to think of if it's been done.
Okay, but let me get back to this.
That would be wild.
Like
you guys got to watch EO.
I fed into it. Now here it goes.
But now
I haven't been there. You got to watch it.
But it follows an actual plot.
Oh, EO does.
No, I'm saying the bird movie. Okay, but all right.
Seen Birdemic? I mean,
right.
Oh, Birdemic 3 is the worst thing I've ever tried to watch.
All right, so let's get back to the movie. We start with Chrissy Watkins at a late night beach party, right? She entices a young drunk man to follow her, and she strips down and jumps into the ocean as he struggles to get his clothes on.
As they always do.
Right. And then she is killed in a very shocking fashion by being pulled around in the water forcefully.
Iconic.
Yep, then dragged under, all while she's screaming in pain.
Just like Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
right.
Like there's so many movies that that thrashing around, and you're like, they had to get that from Jaws.
Was that the first to do it? I think it might have been the first to do it.
I mean, probably not the first to do it, but that effectively, yeah.
100%. And
because I'm sure there was there had to be something. You know what I mean?
Right. They had her. I don't know if you guys know this. They had her on a harness, and there was guys on the ocean floor pulling her back and forth, and that was quite real because she didn't know which way she was going to be pulled.
Yeah.
And there was rumors, and I read that this is false.
That she
but
had injuries?
She didn't have injuries, no. But that was the rumor for a while.
That's what the rumor was.
Yeah, that's like a myth or whatever. But anyway, that's a shocking scene, and that's our introduction to the antagonist, the shark, Bruce the Shark, as they call him, or as Spielberg called him. You know the name he gave him on set because he'd malfunction literally every day, and this production was a nightmare. He called him the Turd. Yeah, and he's a menace to this small island of Amity. And but where was I at? We are then introduced to Martin Brody. He's a New York cop who was recently transplanted to Amity Island.
Yeah. To take like a easier job, more time with the family, less stress type deal.
Right, because being a New York cop's got to be rough. You know what I mean?
Especially in the 70s.
He's probably seen some stuff.
I mean,
but anyway,
probably a little racist in the 70s.
He's shown the remains of Chrissy Watkins and springs into action immediately as he plans to shut the beach down. And then Mayor Larry Vaughn quickly intercepts him with some local businessmen and convince him that that's a bad idea because 4th of July weekend's coming up.
Which is super real scenario.
Yeah,
and
super real.
That would definitely happen.
Right. Does that mirror any recent situations? Relevant situations?
I mean,
You're talking COVID?
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit.
Fauci is Brody and Trump is Mayor Vaughn, 100%. Because
Just inject some soap in your veins. You'll be fine.
Well, because
Right away.
if we stop testing, the numbers will go down.
and also he's like, if we shut the economy down, we're going to lose the economy's going to be trash. And Fauci's like, well, lots of people are going to die. And Trump's like, it's
Tomato.
It mirrors it perfectly. So people that say that it's not like relevant or whatever in like the first half of the movie, that stuff's pointless.
I mean, it's relevant for life. That just happens all the time.
100%. Yeah, and like I've
don't care about-
I've actually heard people say I like the first half of the movie better, and I can understand that. Both are like really good, just in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very. But anyway, that he says that will kill tourism and take money out of their pockets. So he wants Brody and the coroner to change the cause of death to a boating propeller accident, which is even more ridiculous when you see Hooper's reaction to like the body.
Just
Like,
dismembered.
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But anyway, Vaughn, though, he's like an antagonist himself, right?
The mayor?
Arguably, he's the antagonist of the movie, not the shark. Like, you could be argued, you know?
Yeah.
He definitely comes off as a greedy dirtbag, doesn't he?
Yeah.
As anybody in that situation would. Plus, you got the business owners breathing on your neck, like, hey, we can't shut down because like we're gonna lose tons of money. Like,
Right.
Putting pressure on them.
He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I guess it's not all on him, but then the tourists arrive, lots of swimming ensues, and then tragedy strikes as Alex Kintner is devoured by the shark and is what is arguably the most shocking the most shocking scene in the movie as a geyser of blood sprays up. You remember that?
Yeah.
That is crazy looking.
Yeah.
Even to this day, that's really violent. Like when he's you remember that?
Yeah.
When he's bitten and you just see this geyser of blood shooting up, like, man, wild. My jaw hits the floor every time I see that either way. But all right, what was I gonna say? Yeah, he's eating live in front of his mother and hundreds of other beachgoers on a crowded beach. That's when the infamous vertigo shot happens.
She kind of becomes like Mrs. Voorhees after that point.
She does, doesn't she? Dude, but we'll get to that. But that overly dramatic entrance in that one scene. But we'll get to that. But you remember that vertigo shot? You know which one I'm talking about. It's not used in many movies. It's like very rare to see. But like, it's when Brody sees it happen in real time. And we see like it zoom in on, or not really zoom in, but like his face, like his reaction, and then the background drop away or come closer. That's called a vertigo shot. And it's like hard to pull off, but it's like the first time it was done was Hitchcock made it famous in Vertigo. But like I read how you do it. You say the camera's on a dolly or like a slider, so you're supposed to push in or pull out with the camera at the same time you do the reverse zoom effect. So it makes the object stay the same, but the background and all the surroundings either come in or go out. So it has an interesting effect if you watch it. I'll put the clip in there. But it's very cool looking when it's executed well. But anyway, that event sets into motion the rest of the film. After the boy's death, Brody is finally permitted to close the beaches 24 hours, according to the mayor, when they're in that meeting. You remember he said 24 hours only, and he's like, I didn't agree to that. And then if you listen closely, some lady says 24 hours is like 3 weeks. Somebody says that.
Only 24 hours.
24 hours is like 3 weeks.
That's great. And then Miss Kentner puts a bounty on the shark, and hunters come from all over, including local fishermen and shark hunter Quint. And that scene is so great. It's one of the most memorable character introduction scenes in movie history.
Yeah, Quint's a legend.
You can't deny it. The one where he scratches the chalkboard and chews on a cracker while proposing to kill the shark, and like
So dramatic.
it is, yeah. Everyone's just staring at him, but like it works so well because like it's such an attention grabbing thing.
The
You know,
sound
like,
is brutal.
and then like once everyone stares at him, then like we're with them. We're like, who is this guy? We want to know more. We want to know what he's gonna say.
It reminds me of like a Family Guy introduction when like they zoom in on a character, like
Right. It is a bit like funny, but like
comical.
You all know me. Know how I earn a living. I'll catch this bird for you, but it ain't gonna be easy. Bad fish. Not like going down the pond chasing bluegills or tommycats. This shark, swallow you whole. Shaking, tenderizing, down you go. And we gotta do it quick. That'll bring back the tourists. That'll put all your businesses on a paying basis. But it's not gonna be pleasant. I value my neck a lot more than $3,000, Chief. I'll find him for 3, but I'll catch him and kill him for 10. And you gotta make up your minds. You wanna stay alive and ante up? You wanna play it cheap? Be on welfare the whole winter. I don't want no volunteers. I don't want no mates. There's too many captains on this island. $10,000 for me by myself. For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quint. We'll take it under advisement.
Mr. Mayor, Chief, ladies and gentlemen.
that speech though he gives where he's proposing, like I could probably quote that word for word if I really needed to, and
I needed to. What are you gonna need to?
I don't know. Like someone points a gun
Just
to your
at
head.
Starbucks one day.
Quote.
I'm gonna need you to quote Quint.
Also,
word for word.
the shark drawing is on point. All right, you know that shark and the little guy inside
Yeah.
there. He drew that. That's great. So the hunt is on. Scores of fishermen come from all. They deny Quint, or they don't really accept his offer right then and there. But like you get a feeling that Quint's like, oh yeah, they're coming back to me. They need me. But so the hunt is on, right? Scores of fishermen come from all over to capture the shark.
You mean like Evil Dies Tonight?
Right.
That was the original.
That was the original, yeah. So even you remember the couple of fishermen using the roast to lure in the shark
Yeah.
on the dock? You remember that? That gives us a sense of how big the creature it really is. Like, because we didn't know before then when he's dragging the dock.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that scene? And then that guy gets away. But it's a cool shot. Show us like how big it is, you know. And that's when Hooper arrives from the Oceanographic Institute, and he asks to see the body.
Dreyfus.
Yep, Richard Dreyfuss. He's great in this. And Robert Shaw plays Quint. And then
Maybe relation, not sure.
right. And then Roy Scheider plays Brody. I don't know if I mentioned that, but he confirms it's a shark attack after looking visibly shaken when he examines her remains. Like he has to like drink of water, and it always bothers me how he drinks that water. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? He drinks it like so like you don't need to drink a Dixie cup that dramatically. Get the hell out of here with that.
Just wanted to prove he's the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. But anyway, shortly after, they catch a tiger shark, and everyone is elated as they believe it to be the killer shark. like Brody is jumping through like mental hoops to convince himself that that's the shark.
Yeah, he knows it's not.
He's got like a fake smile on. He's like, yes, we've done it. He knows that's not the shark. Vaughn, though, I don't think has to take any convincing. I think he's like that delusional that he's like,
Oh yeah, they could have caught a largemouth bass, and he would have been like, "That's it, done deal." We got him.
You remember his one line where he says, "You shout barracuda." People go, "Huh? What? You shout shark." We got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July. He's got some good lines, but yeah. So they're trying to trick themselves into thinking that's the shark, but it's extremely unlikely because Hooper says that's unlikely. That's very unlikely. And then Miss Kintner arrives in overly dramatic fashion, like
Miss Voorhees.
in black.
Yes.
She just came from the funeral. Like it's out of control. Like all the eyes are on her, and then she goes boom to Brody. Like I actually read that they did that scene or that take like so many times that Brody's face was just, or Scheider's face was so red at the end of the day. Like I don't know why they needed to do that so many times though.
Just to fuck him.
If
Right.
Spielberg was just cracking up behind the camera, like, do it again.
Right. And so then Brody gets super upset and like walks off. He feels guilt for the kid's death. So we got a pretty good sense of Brody's character. He's a pretty noble guy. You know, he's got morals and stuff, and he feels guilt. You know, he takes pride in his job and believes he's responsible for the safety of all the Amityville citizens or Amity citizens. But and then as he's drinking at home, his son sits by him and mimics his movements. It's like a very innocent and touching scene. Like, and it just seems very memorable for
Like a throwaway scene, basically, but
very memorable for a shark movie. You know, like very touching actually. Oh, then they dissect the shark and confirm that's not the shark because they find that Louisiana plate, you know, and its stomach and all that.
Yeah, because tiger sharks are garbage trucks of the sea.
Yeah, garbage. Yep, and they'll eat anything. And then they find Ben Gardner's boat on the water and his corpse, which is still one of the best jump scares ever to this day. Because they crank that music.
yeah.
I expect that every time, and they crank it and get me every time. I know it's coming, and they still get me. That's crazy.
They can't get you every time. Yeah. Stop it.
They do. And then even after all that evidence that they got
Say,
the
like,
wrong...
there's no way he's jumping out this time.
Not this time. And then even after...
I got it figured out now.
Even after all that evidence that they got the wrong shark, Brody and Hooper are still unable to convince Vaughn to close the beaches. And then one of the funniest moments comes when Vaughn's going along the beach and he's convincing a family to get in the
He's
water
like, everybody, get back in the water.
to entice others to come in the water, and they're walking in the water like fearing for their
Yeah,
lives.
he's basically like Kevorkian at that point.
Get in there. They're literally fearing for their lives. But that's when the shark is spotted again. And then the chaos and panic that follows in this scene is exciting because Brody panics.
Exciting. Oh.
Yeah, Brody's panicking to find his kids who are in the pond where the shark is going. And then
Yeah, and they're like his little schooner, little sailboat.
yeah, and then he devours that man, that random man that's like on his like paddle boat or canoeing or whatever. And I think that's the most frightening shot in the entire movie, is when you see the shark just below the surface devour that man. You remember that shot?
You see, like, the body.
That
Yeah.
that is burned into my brain for forever. I mean, it's terrifying.
I mean, I've only been in the ocean a couple times, but anything touching my leg, I'm out. Like, I just, like, sprint on top of the water. Like, see ya!
Because in your head, you're like, that's Jaws.
100%.
That's Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? But a cool shot of that, one of my favorite is, I didn't notice this until, like, later on, actually.
Until
Like,
52 times in.
yeah, until, like, a lot of times watching it. But when Brody pulls his son out of the water and wakes him up, he looks to the water and he's like, now it's personal. Like, he gives a look to the water like, I'm coming for you, mother effer. You know what I'm saying? And
You
then
can kill everyone else, but not my blood.
right now it's personal. And then he puts his foot down in the hospital and makes Vaughn sign that paper to hire
Nobody
Quint
touches
to kill
my
the
boy.
shark. And I always love that scene because like Brody's like a man of less like influence and power than Vaughn, but yet he's like, you're signing this paper. This, you know what's right and what's wrong, and you're signing this paper. I love that. Like, whenever someone of less power like makes someone do something that have more power,
It's getting dirty now. It's
you know what? I'm not saying that.
getting
but, like,
perverted somehow.
but like it shows like bravery and stuff, you
Yeah.
know. So I like
Stand
that.
up to the man.
Yeah, so that's a good way to put it. Yeah, but Vaughn is also shaken and he's vulnerable because he said his kids were also on that beach. So like that very well could have been his kids that were killed. He's like shaken, you know. So
I wish it were his kids.
but that's when the movie turns into a different movie altogether as they set sail for the open sea to go and hunt this shark. It becomes much more exciting, adventurous, action-packed. Suspense, yep. And that's the main goal, is to just kill the shark. That's what it's come to. It's just that. And then the chemistry and dynamics between Brody, Hooper, and Quint is so great. It's like there's like
It is the perfect casting. It's like
You know what I'm saying?
Three completely different people. Like
from different parts, different like walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Quint, who's like raised this rough way. He was like in the war, and he's been through some stuff.
He's a little bit of an alky.
He's an alky. He's just a gruff character. You got Hooper, who's like kind of white collar. He's like very intelligent. He went to school. He makes a lot of money being a marine biologist at
and
the
then they all have
oceanographic.
to like work together on the same thing and they get along. And
Right.
The same mission.
Same common goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Brody, who's like this blue collar hero type.
Pop that boo.
You know?
Blue.
But yeah, like the chemistry is great because Hooper and Quint are very funny at times, butting heads. 'Cause
Yeah.
I read that there's actually some truth to that. Hooper and Quint, Dreyfuss and Shaw were actually like butting heads on set, and they apparently Robert Shaw was drunk like a lot of the time. Yeah,
It's just standing character.
right. He's a method actor.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Dreyfuss would annoy most of us.
Well, honestly, I've heard mixed
At
things
points-
about Dreyfuss. Dreyfuss can be somewhat a prick too.
Even
at
his
times.
character in the movie, like at times,
he's funny.
obnoxious.
Though. He is obnoxious. He's funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
But and then you
yeah,
got,
everything he's fine, and just like freaks out on every time.
Yeah, I'm torn on Dreyfuss. He's so good in some stuff, and then other stuff I'm like, oh, this guy's punishing.
I love him. I love him.
He's so good in some stuff.
I
though.
love him.
What about Bob? Kills it.
Okay,
He's great
You're
in
pushing
Jaws.
it, bud.
He's great in Close Encounters. He's great in one of
You said love a little hard.
right, I did. But
Love.
That was like Skarsgård dong hard.
I mean, you
but,
win some, you lose some. You know.
but Brody's laser focused, right? And but he's helpless kind of because he hates water and
Laser
boats.
focus, like sharks with lasers.
Right. No, but he hates boats and he hates
Boats and hose. Hates
water. The hunt begins. You know, it's a scary scene when we see Quint scared because he has seen everything. Right. He's highly experienced
Yeah, he's
shark
the
hunter.
grizzled old man.
Yeah, but then the shark swims under the boat and he says, "We're either dealing with something very dumb here or very intelligent." And then he goes, "It's gone under the boat. It's under the boat." And he's like panicking. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, so you should be scared a little bit because it's very intelligent.
Yeah, if that dude's scared, then time to panic.
Yeah, right. He's seen it all. So shortly after, we see the shark clearly and in full for the first time, showing what the monster they are up against.
Which is crazy that it like took so long.
Took over an hour,
Yeah.
but I think that was such a smart
Oh,
decision.
absolutely.
Because it built the suspense and it made your imagination run wild.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what is under there, and then you see it and you're like, wow.
But I do feel like that's probably why some younger people might watch it and not be as into it because people are not
they're
built that way
spoiled.
anymore.
Yeah, no, the attention span is gone, and that requires you to give some attention, but the payoff is so high when you see it. Like, it's like that line in Django Unchained. You had
whoa! Where are we taking this?
You had my interest. Now you have my attention.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
But the suspense leading up to that, not giving away what the shark looks like, was just very smart. You know, if we were shown it early on, we'd have been like fatigued by it and savoring the reveal. It was such a smart move. But it kept us hooked. No pun intended.
Yes, it was.
So like it becomes a very fast paced movie after this, and a game of cat and mouse. But we're not sure which party is which. You know, like who's the hunter, who's the hunted,
Who's walking who, you know?
But let's get to like the dialogue. The best and most colorful dialogue in the film. Who do you think had that?
Quint had some great.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's like singing. You know, and then he had some great lines like when they're setting off on the and like his wife is there and he's like saying these off-color humor comments.
Here lies the body of Mary Lee. Died at the age of 103. For 15 years, she kept her virginity. Not a bad record for this vicinity.
All right, Commissioner.
And his wife, Brody's wife, is like, he's like, this is who's in charge of my husband. They're all dead.
I mean, he's so relatable though. Like he's just a regular dude, personable dude.
He is. He's like the guy you'd want to, like, as they say, have a beer with or whatever. He's the guy you want to hang out with amongst all of them, I'd say. I also love the quote when he's trying to drag the shark in. You remember that? When the boat's like failing? He goes, back home we got a taxidermy man. He's going to have a heart attack when he see what I brought him. That's a great one. That's such a good one.
Yeah, like having banter with the shark while they're losing the battle.
Right. Yeah. The characters, like you said, are all so different with like different values and goals and stuff, but like they all come together for this common goal, and they're all likable for different reasons. Like Brody for his nobility and bravery and heroism, and then you got Hooper. He's very intelligent. He's got a sarcastic sense of humor, and his willingness to help, like in this situation.
Yeah, even though he's struggling.
He doesn't need to. He goes along for the ride, though. And Quint, of course, for his like charisma, charm, off-color humor, and like his rebellious character.
Yeah.
People always love a rebel, and he's a rebel. And he just has like an FU like to the world type of vibe. And I think what ultimately leads to Quint's death, though, is like his selfishness. Because he's trying to reel that shark in.
Well, it's his pride or his
pride,
hubris.
Yeah, that too. But like, yeah, his ego, his selfishness.
He thinks it's impossible that he's not going to beat the shark.
Right.
Yeah, because remember when he throws the life jackets to them when the boat's going sinking? He throws the life and he doesn't take one. He's like, I'm either killing the shark or I'm going down with the boat.
Yeah.
That's basically his attitude. He just wants that $10,000 though, right? I mean, he wants that.
And the glory. Give me that glory, baby.
Yep. And
he would have had airbrush T-shirts with him on it holding the shark for
legend.
sure.
Brody and Hooper
I'm about to go get one made.
Brody and Hooper are doing it for a more honorable reason. Brody's saving his town.
Hooper's kind of just like in awe. Like he's like, I just need to be there when this happens.
Yeah, for science. And he's trying to study the shark. One of my favorite scenes is the one where like they're telling of their scars, and Quint's telling of the USS Indianapolis story, which is a true story, actually. It really happened. And like it just sends chills.
Stolen valor? That's what you're telling me right now?
It just sends chills down your spine because he's waiting in the water. They were there for, I think he said 5 nights or something and sharks were just devouring.
Ice cold salt water.
Yeah, and sharks were devouring all these sailors. I think he said 1,100 men went in the water.
It's like a damn buffet.
350 or something came out.
If I won, I'd off myself somehow.
I mean, if I was a shark, I would have been there for sure.
Right. But that scene's very memorable.
Like I said, I relate to the shark in this. He just wanted a little snacky snack, and everybody's fucking up his day.
The shark is the hero in this movie.
I mean,
he's like the anti-hero.
No.
They came in his water.
They did.
Yeah, they're swimming in his bedroom.
That is true.
He just wanted a tater tot.
That is true. But like that's such a great scene because the camaraderie shown there is so great. You know, it's magical. Like, you know,
Actually, they get a little tipsy, and then they get a little more loose.
Oh yeah, and then they start singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home." That forever sticks with me.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it's got right to my head. 'cause she all bone. You can always hear me singing.
Like every time I watch that scene, I notice something different. Like, you guys notice when they're showing their scars, Brody lifts his shirt and sees one like on his abdomen. He's like, F it, I'm not gonna. He like mentally says like, F it doesn't compare. And then also, I don't know if you guys noticed when the shark starts hitting the boat, like when they stop singing, the first person to notice is Quint, and then Hooper, and then last Brody finally notices. But like it shows you like,
Yeah, because Brody is the worst at handling his liquor.
well that
Like
and,
he's more out of sorts than the other
that
guys.
and he's like the least like
Knowledgeable. He doesn't know what's going on.
least knowledge of the sea
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know, a funny scene was when what's her name, or when his wife's trying to get a hold of him on the boat. Remember that? And then like there's some stuff going on outside, and Quint's he just rushes through it. He's like. Yep, Brody's fine. We're just fishing. We'll be home for dinner. I'll see ya.
Your husband's all right, Mrs. Brody. He's fishing. He just got a couple of stripers. We'll bring him in for dinner. We won't be long. We haven't seen anything yet. Ogre out.
And he's like, we're literally battling a shark. You can't be talking to his
Right.
wife, Then you guys remember when Brody, he attempts to phone for help and Quint smashes the phone? That's great, man. Brody gets mad at him. He goes, you're certifiable, Quint. You're certifiable. Because he knows that if help comes, he doesn't get the money. So he's got to, he just wants that money. But he pushes the boat so much it blows the engine.
Yep.
He gives Brody and Hooper a life jacket and doesn't take one for himself. And it shows his like confidence and like bullheadedness.
I think at that point, he realized like, I effed up and I got these guys in danger. Like for my greed, I should have probably just go down with the ship. Like I'll get them out of here and then.
Oh, you think he was doing something kind of like heroic?
No,
there?
well at the end finally maybe been like I effed everything up. Like I'm
He's-
so greedy. I should have let him call for help.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. And then as the boat begins to
I don't
sink,
think that highly of people.
I mean, maybe not. Could have been.
that you're right. No,
I
you're
like
right. The tension rises until finally the shark literally jumps on the boat. Eating
we've
Quint,
all seen videos like that. That's real.
eating Quint in the process, which is straight horror, and it's very graphic. And like, there's a lot of people
How are we sure he didn't survive though?
bites him literally in half. Like,
Just Lieutenant Dan style.
there's a lot of people that
Oh,
would say
Bad
like
case of getting cut in half with a machete.
this movie is suspense or adventure or like thriller. That scene tells me it's horror. Like, what do you guys think this movie is genre? If you
It's
had
a horror
to
movie.
if you had to put it in one genre,
It's a horror.
it's horror.
How do you debate it?
I mean, you could say it's adventure, suspense, or thriller.
But it ruined an entire piece of Earth.
Right. I mean, what's funny is you go on IMDb and it doesn't even. You know how it says the genres?
Oh, yeah.
Horror isn't even mentioned. It says adventure, thriller, mystery.
Yeah, but when people talk about like the top horror movies, it's in there. Like people who know movies.
Right. I'm just saying, like, that is such a horrific scene. Like it's. I mean, it's got to be horror.
I'd say it's a dramedy.
Right. That scene is super violent. Quint is gone, killed by the thing he feared most, the thing he had so much history with, and the thing that he made a living killing, which is
the irony.
which is poetic. Yeah, ironic, poetic, whatever. Hooper is assumed dead after seeing the mangled shark cage. So it's Brody versus the shark as he goes down with the boat. He has limited ammo and is aiming for a small oxygen tank in the shark's mouth. Man versus beast, an age-old tale.
pretty ridiculous, but
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
It's
I'll
a
give
movie.
it that.
Though. Brody, he shows courage and madness as he fires at the shark. He hits the tank after uttering one of the most badass lines. Doing it, he says, "Smile, you son of a bitch." I love that, man.
Smile, you son of a...
And then he hits him. Boom. Shark dead. Hooper surfaces and they rejoice.
Quite a meat explosion.
Yeah, it was. And then I don't know if you've noticed, like during the blood in the water, if you listen closely, there's a dinosaur sound effect. Tyrannosaurus.
I thought you were going to say like you hear Quint.
no. Right, he's alive. No. There's a post-credit scene. No. But yeah, then Hooper surfaces. They rejoice in the fact that they have accomplished their mission, and that's the end of it. And like,
How are they going to collect on that 10 G's though if there's no body? They just blew it up.
I mean,
They never get to the bottom of that, do they?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, the mayor's not paying up.
They don't. I don't think they care about the money. Neither of them care about the money.
mean-
Oh, they care.
But anyway,
I'm not turning down a free 10 G's. Ow.
every time I watch Jaws, I am fully immersed and swept away by its drama, music, acting, characters, emotion, suspense, and it's just its whole vibe. You know what I mean?
Swept away is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Penetrated to the core.
Yeah.
It's the movie that made me fall in love with movies, and,
Yes.
and it made me want to be a filmmaker and work in the film industry, which I'm aiming for and working towards.
Just
But
because it does everything perfect and it sets the bar
it
so
does,
high.
it does. Like when I first seen it, I was there on the beach. I was like in the cabin with them, like drinking and singing, and like it was magical, and it like still is magical. You know, like it never gets old to me. Even if I live to be 100, it will never get old to me. It just won't.
I mean, by then you'll probably forget. You'll get to see it all over for the first time.
That's true. Like
Probably in VR by then.
like I have an insurmountable amount of respect for like Spielberg, Shaw, Scheider, and Dreyfuss. Like I would literally watch them in anything. It made me fall in love with every person in this movie, and like
Except for the kid's mom.
Yeah.
right. I have loved it like since seeing it maybe for the first time 25 years ago, and it is one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie ever. It will remain that way, you know. So it's just unbelievable.
Until we see the Black Demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I have some questions. Who is your guys' favorite character?
Quint.
Quint for sure.
For sure.
A little bit of Hooper.
I mean, they're all great, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Quint. Like, it's not even...
That's crazy because every time I watch it, I'm like, I think to myself, who do I like more? Like, who's my favorite character? And I'm always flip flopping.
Just as a character in a movie-wise, he's just the most entertaining.
Yeah, he
for
is
sure.
the
That's
most
usually
entertaining.
what I'd go towards.
Chill.
But Hooper is funny as hell, and like he's just a funny personality, and like,
Yeah.
and then you got Brody, who's just very noble and likable, and but like also, I've thought
Chill.
about this. Which character are you? Which character do you guys think you are if you were one of those characters?
I would say none of them.
No, if you had to, I said.
Hooper.
You'd say you were Hooper?
I mean, I wanted to be a marine biologist for half of my life.
You think you relate most to Hooper, though?
I guess Brody, maybe?
You think so?
I guess. I'm not smart or brave, so I guess...
Dang, you're really selling yourself short, man.
Noble, I guess I'll go with.
I don't know. I think you're selling yourself short, but me, I would say that's tough. I could see.
I mean, me and Joe maybe could be the mayor.
There you go. I definitely would take that money.
Right. I could see qualities of each of us in each character.
So it was a trick question, is what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And then what is like your?
I feel like a fool.
What is your guys' favorite scene or
I've been
moment?
made a fool of.
Stop,
I
buddy.
mean, the classic when he's looking and the shark comes up. Like,
That's your favorite moment?
you
It's so iconic.
Yeah.
It's so
almost everything
iconic.
with the shark is perfect.
You say that like it's such an easy thing to pick. Like you just said iconic because it was nice to say.
No. I mean, no.
But you really need to watch Year of the Shark, Ben.
I should. Yeah, I should watch
Because it's
it.
like a French movie, but it's like takes basically the plot of Jaws, but it's more like a comedy because it's basically like if they did decide to like shut the town down
Okay.
and like what the reaction would be because of that, and it kind of everybody turns on the Brody character because they shut down the beach because of his recommendation.
Got it.
But it is like there's so many I know you won't like it a great deal because you'll compare it to Jaws,
Right.
but
It's
it has-
just natural to do.
But well, I mean, it is. It's basically It's supposed
Yeah,
to be Jaws.
yeah.
But like it has so many nods to Jaws that are so fucking
Does
funny.
it?
Like the Quint character, and like when he's on the boat, like is slamming like Capri Suns, like their alcohol, like he's like
right.
juice me or whatever, and he's like slamming Capri Suns like it's booze.
Another scene that I'm reminded of is when Quint takes a drink of the beer and crushes the can, and then
He
Hooper
does that
it
with the
the
Capri
water
Suns.
cup.
Well, that's what he does it with the Capri Sun.
Does he? That's great, man. But
It's really not fair to any other shark movie. I don't know why you still make shark movies. Why do people? Why do they do it?
yeah, just like
'Cause they have
call
to-
it. Just call it.
They have to think like out of the box, and then they try different stuff, and it doesn't work because you can't make it similar to Jaws, or else.
Very true.
So they have to try different
like,
stuff.
What? Like let's.
There's
rank,
a couple shark movies coming out though. Black Demon we've talked about.
There's a couple good ones.
There's
let's
another
rank-
one called
let's-
Big Shark, I think.
Let's rank the shark movies real quick. Like your top like 4 or 5. Let's say Jaws, of course, and then what comes next?
Nothing compares.
I like Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea is the other
like it.
good shark movie. It's not
It's different enough.
amazing. It's not epic and amazing like Jaws.
Sharknado.
Incredible. No,
No.
a Deep Blue Sea, and then some other. What about The Shallows?
And then I really haven't seen many more. I really haven't.
What about The Shallows? How do you guys feel?
I haven't seen it.
Yes, you have. We've seen it in the theater with Blake Lively.
Who?
With Blake Lively, she's on the little rock and the
I
star.
never saw that. Did I?
We seen that in the theater.
Didn't leave an impression.
All right, but
Oh yeah, I guess it's okay. When she gets her leg trashed. Yeah. It's decent.
How about
I saw that new one with Alicia Silverstone. Garbage.
right? The
Ronin
the
or
Requin
something?
or
Yeah,
what?
Requin.
Like open water and the reef and stuff like that. They tried the Meg. They tried different stuff, and it just there's like it's not.
It's not Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws spoiled us forever.
So early.
So early, 50 years ago, nearly.
Sharks of the Corn. Come on.
I haven't seen it, but it sounds great.
Avalanche Sharks. I just
Like,
watched.
You know what else? Like
Talk about cinema.
something similar. Exorcism movies. Exorcist spoiled us so early,
Well, I don't know.
right?
I mean, yes, but I don't hold on it because this is going to be shameful as like the horror guy, but I don't hold The Exorcist in as high regard as I do Jaws. I don't think it's.
No, I don't either.
I don't think like the.
I don't either, but I think it's the best
I don't
Exorcist
think, I don't
movie.
think the
Exorcism
gap
movie.
between exorcism movies is as great as like with Jaws and shark movies. Nothing's touchable.
I would
But I feel
agree,
like there's
but it is
new
still the
Exorcist
best.
movies that I would watch before The Exorcist.
I'd have to look at all the Exorcist movies because there's not many that are really like rewatchable. They're like
Exorcism of Emily Rose is really good.
If I remember correctly, it is. Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to this. Do you guys have any like fond memories of Jaws? Like, do you remember like the first time you seen it or anything like that? Or
I don't.
I've always wanted to see it at like one of those drive-ins where they let you like float on the raft.
right,
while
I've
you
always
watch it.
wanted
I've
to.
always
That's in
wanted to do that.
Texas, I believe.
I mean,
That's pretty
I
sweet.
feel like there's a bunch of them now that do it, but like, yes, there's a big one in Texas.
Yeah, Joe. So it's like there's
like a
there's
kiddie pool.
yeah.
but also there like not a kiddie pool, like
Well,
an actual one where it's like I think like 8 feet deep.
Oh, I'm talking about like most of the ones like I've seen. It's like a shallow pool, just like over a very big area, so that a bunch of people can just float like on tubes.
It
and
might
watch
be.
it.
I think there
But
are some though that
there's-
are
yeah, like a wave pool type deal.
yeah, like which
That
is
is a cool idea.
Imagine in a 10-foot deep pool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't
Like,
believe there was a
first of
shark
all,
in there.
dude.
Somebody we know would definitely be going under and like poking people,
Right.
and all hell would break loose.
For sure.
100%. But
I would definitely like drop a candy bar or something in the pool and be like, "Oh, look at somebody shit in the pool!"
right.
Caddyshack style.
No, but I think it's
Or I might just shit in the pool.
the benchmark the
got dark.
benchmark for shark movies, the benchmark for summer blockbusters, and it's perfect in every way. Anyone can watch this movie and understand what's going on and relate to one of the characters. They just know it's just so
It
relatable
is like a lightning in a bottle type thing.
and,
like
and
it was
simple and just
perfect.
It's perfect and perfectly written, perfectly directed. Props to Spielberg because the production apparently was like a nightmare. When it
Yeah.
was over, he's like, I'm never making a movie again. And he thought, and then like it was a huge success. Like I'm not. Like I would. There's not many people I'd fanboy out over, whatever, you know. Like everyone's just a person, you know. But Spielberg, like I'd blow that guy.
I knew this Jaws review was getting to that.
leap.
No, but anyway, it's literally one of, if not my favorite movies of all time. I love it so much. It's timeless, and let's get to ratings. Unless you guys want to add anything else on it.
I think you said it all.
All right, yeah. Well,
I don't want to blow Spielberg, so I'll leave you with that.
right. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'll give it a 9.
9.
I'm gonna see because when I just saw it, I know. Yeah, I gave it a 9. I could go 9.5, but for sure 9.5.
You gotta pick one.
Just give 9. 9.5.
9.5. Nice. All right. So
He's pleased.
watch it ASAP. Watch it whenever.
If you
skip
haven't
it.
seen Jaws, fucking watch it ASAP. I mean,
100. Dude,
If you haven't seen Jaws, you don't watch movies.
if you haven't seen Jaws, shut this off right now. Go watch it. That's it. Go watch it right now.
The
But,
sound.
preferably if you can watch it while you're in a bathtub.
Yes. Yes.
Like, do something to immerse yourself.
There you go.
It's it'll immerse you anyway.
Maybe put a shark puppet on your dong so it floats in the bathtub while you're
Alright.
watching the movie.
Brainstorming, I like it.
Right. No, but I will say this.
Do they sell those? You would know. Do they sell
Probably.
Jaws
They for sure
puppets,
do.
puppets for your dick?
I mean, they might. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't have
If
one.
they don't, we're making it.
No,
Yeah, we should make that and sell it.
I did forget to mention that. Like I said earlier, it was a book before a movie. A year before it was a movie, and there's a subplot in the book.
Okay, here we go.
Hooper bangs Brody's wife,
Fuck, that would have been good in the movie.
and you know
That would've
what?
changed everything.
Hooper dies. He doesn't come up at the end. Hooper dies because he banged Brody's wife.
Because he banged her. The shark knew.
The shark was like justice. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think the shark smelled the pussy on him. It's like, give me a bite of that. I've been eating all this dick.
That's our review for Jaws, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have not seen Jaws, get yourself checked and
Spoiler alert.
get your head checked.
Jaws is a pussy fiend.
Watch that movie immediately. Thank you for watching this, and we will see you on the next one.